Welcome to Global Watch. Please subscribe and hit the bell icon for more breaking updates. The world's power structure is shifting, quietly but profoundly. For decades, the US and its Western allies set the rules for global trade, finance, and diplomacy. Today, the dominance is fracturing, the old certainties are fading. The post-war institutions, UN, World Bank, IMF, are increasingly seen as tools of a Western-centric order. The desire for a multipolar world is now a driving force, pulling nations into new alliances and leaving old ones strained. The BRICS bloc, once a mere investment acronym, has become a formidable coalition and a symbol of this transformation. With new members and growing influence, BRICS offers an alternative for countries feeling sidelined by the West. The US dollar's dominance is being challenged, and nations are hedging their bets in a world no longer defined by a single power. The rise of BRICS marks the end of one era and the uncertain birth of another. Understanding this shift is essential for navigating the emerging global order. To grasp BRICS' significance, we must look back to its origins. The term BRIC was coined in 2001 by a Goldman Sachs economist to describe four rising economies: Brazil, Russia, India, and China. Initially, it was just an investment label, not a political alliance. That changed in 2009, when the first BRICS summit called for a more democratic, multipolar world order. The group sought to reform global financial institutions to reflect their growing economic weight. In 2010, South Africa joined, making it BRICS and adding an African voice. The bloc's mission: promote development, push for fairer global governance, and create financial alternatives to Western-dominated systems. The new development bank and contingent reserve arrangement were key achievements. Despite internal differences, BRICS members are united by a desire for greater autonomy and a more balanced world order. They aim not to overthrow the system, but to reform it and, when needed, build their own alternatives. In 2024, BRICS underwent its most dramatic transformation yet. At the Kazan summit, Egypt, Ethiopia, Iran, and the UAE joined, expanding the bloc's reach and strategic weight. In early 2025, Indonesia became the 10th member, cementing BRICS Plus as a true representative of the Global South. The expanded group now accounts for nearly half the world's population and over a third of global GDP. With top oil producers among its ranks, BRICS Plus wields new leverage in energy markets. Dozens of nations are lining up to join, seeing BRICS as a path to greater opportunity and influence. The bloc has evolved from a club of emerging economies into a global movement. Internal dynamics are shifting, with China and Russia pushing for expansion, while India and Brazil remain cautious. BRICS Plus is now a powerful coalition, fundamentally altering the global balance of power. Why are so many countries eager to join BRICS? For many, it starts with economics. The new development bank offers financing with fewer strings than the IMF or World Bank. BRICS is also working to reduce reliance on the US dollar, appealing to nations wary of American financial power. De-dollarization and alternative payment systems offer protection from sanctions and economic volatility. Politically, BRICS membership signals prestige and influence, giving countries a seat at a table with major powers. For those sidelined in G7-dominated forums, BRICS offers collective empowerment. The bloc's appeal is rooted in the promise of multipolarity, a world with multiple centers of power and more choices. It's not about being anti-West, but pro-sovereignty and strategic autonomy. Countries are hedging their bets, seeking diverse alliances in an uncertain world. BRICS is a club of the rising, not the risen, and that dynamic is central to its draw. The desire for balance and independence is the strongest force pulling nations toward BRICS. In a world of shifting alliances, BRICS offers a pragmatic path to greater agency. Turkey's interest in BRICS is a striking sign of the times. In early 2025, Turkish officials confirmed they're exploring membership, signaling frustration with stalled EU talks and a desire for new options. As a NATO member, Turkey's pivot toward BRICS would be a geopolitical game-changer. Decades of feeling sidelined by Europe have fueled Ankara's search for strategic autonomy. President Erdogan's government is seeking to diversify partnerships and assert Turkey as a regional power. Economically, BRICS Plus offers Turkey new trade and investment opportunities and access to alternative financing. But joining BRICS would complicate Turkey's NATO ties and force a delicate balancing act. Ankara is navigating between East and West, seeking prosperity and independence. Whether this approach is sustainable remains to be seen. but Turkey's move highlights the shifting allegiances of our era. BRICS' appeal is growing amid rising global economic tensions. In 2025, the US imposed sweeping tariffs on EU, Japan, and South Korea, shaking the global trading system. Instead of uniting against the US, these allies largely accepted the new reality, exposing their vulnerability to American pressure. This episode underscored the risks of over-reliance on a single economic partner. For many, BRICS' push for alternative trade and financial systems is a direct response to such unilateral moves. Trading in local currencies and bypassing the dollar offers insulation from US policy shifts. For countries facing tariffs or sanctions, BRICS Plus provides a security guarantee, alternative markets and financial channels. Ironically, US tariffs have become a recruiting tool for BRICS, accelerating the search for economic resilience. The bloc's message is clear. In a world of rising protectionism, collective action and multipolarity are essential. BRICS is positioning itself as a sanctuary in an unpredictable economic landscape. BRICS' expansion is shaking the global order, accelerating the shift to multipolarity. The bloc challenges Western-led liberal internationalism and forces nations to navigate a world with multiple power centers. Russia uses BRICS to evade sanctions. China sees it as a platform to lead the global south. For India, Brazil, and South Africa, BRICS is a tool for influence and autonomy. The bloc's principle of non-interference appeals to governments wary of Western pressure on human rights. BRICS Plus promotes alternative models of development, fostering diversity, but also less consensus on global norms. The risks are real. Greater competition could mean instability and less cooperation on global challenges. Internal divisions, democracies versus autocracies, regional rivals, may limit BRICS' coherence. Still, the unipolar era is over. A more contested, complex world has arrived. Experts agree, BRICS expansion is a pivotal moment, but its future is uncertain. Some see it as a direct challenge to Western dominance, offering financing without political strings and a break from the old order. Others caution that BRICS Plus is not a monolith. Internal divisions may push it to reform, not replace, the global system. India and Brazil are likely to resist any anti-Western tilt, keeping the bloc focused on multipolarity. Turkish officials' pragmatic approach reflects a broader trend, concerning new avenues for growth and influence, not ideological confrontation. Leaders across the global south are pursuing multi-alignment, maximizing autonomy by engaging all major powers. Economically, BRICS' collective power gives it leverage that traditional US allies lack. The bloc's challenge is structural, building a parallel economic universe that operates on its own terms. For its members, this is an opportunity. For the West, a growing concern. The world is watching to see if BRICS can turn potential into lasting influence. We are witnessing the end of one era and the dawn of another. The unipolar world is giving way to a fragmented multipolar age, with BRICS Plus as its most visible symbol. Multiple centers of influence now pull the global order in new directions. This era brings competition and opportunity. The rivalry between West and BRICS Plus will shape the future. Africa, Latin America, and Southeast Asia will gain leverage as powers compete for influence. Strategic autonomy is now a goal for many, not just a privileged few. But a fragmented order may struggle with global threats, and internal contradictions could limit BRICS Plus's effectiveness. Navigating this world will require flexible, pragmatic diplomacy. The story is still being written. The choices made now will define the global order for decades. What kind of world do we want to build? The answer is up to all of us.